All right, so first and foremost, big shout out to all those that follow me on YouTube. And I have a question from one of the faithful motivators, Ramo Jones. First of all, I appreciate your question. And he says, what up, Sean? I'm a new agent. What are some of the questions you ask a new buyer? And how do you screen who you want to work with? Fantastic question. Let's talk about the questions you should ask a new buyer. Let's do it. What's good? This is Sean Slaughter, real estate agent and investor. And today we're going to talk about qualifying your buyers. This is a fantastic question from one of my motivators. I'm going to include a buyer info script in the link below. So please make sure you click that. It's totally free for you guys. You can click that and you can use this so that when you're working with buyers, these are the questions that you should be asking. All right, first and foremost, I want you to put the source of this lead. Where did you get this lead from? The reason this is important is because at the end of the year, you're going to go through all of your transactions and you're going to write the source of every single transaction that was closed. This will help you target your next year and your money and your resources on, okay, if all of my leads are coming from, Zillow Premier Agent, then congratulations, that's probably where you need to be targeting your resources. If all your leads are coming from referrals, then target your resources there. All right, put the source of the lead, put their name, put their spouse's name, get their birthdays. Now, when I first started doing real estate, this didn't make sense to me. Why get their birthday or get their anniversary date? This is important because once you close that transaction, you want to be able to not only send a 1-year happy home anniversary gift to them, but you want to send them a gift on their anniversary or their birthday, and that's actually more personal. That'll connect you with them as a real estate agent, as their real estate agent for life. Of course, you get their address and their city, their cell, their email, get all that information. That information is important because you want to put it in your database. Whether you move forward with this lead or not, you want to at least have this so you can put it in your database and you can begin putting them on a drip or contacting them every few months. Or if they're ready to buy, then you can start buying now. The number one question that you need to ask every single buyer, the number one question is, how soon do you want to move into a home? This is the most important question. If somebody says right now, then you have a hot lead. If your buyer tells you, well, within the next 6 to 12 months, then you understand, hey, look, we may not start looking at houses now, especially in this hot market where houses are just selling really, really quickly. You don't want to start taking somebody to go see houses and they're not ready to buy a house for another 12 months. This allows you to organize your leads. I organize my leads as hot, meaning right now, 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, or 6 to 12 months. So the question is, how soon do you want to be in a house? As a matter of fact, ask them this. What month do you want to be in the house? Be as specific as possible. Next question, how long have you been looking for a home? Now, this question is going to tell you if they've just started or if they've been looking for a year or two. Because if they've been looking for a year or two, then they may have had a realtor. And if they've had a realtor and now they're coming to you, that means that realtor messed up. So if they say, hey, we've been looking for a year, my next question would be, well, did you have a realtor? And if they say yes, then ask them, well, what did that realtor do wrong? Because obviously you're with me. That'll give you some insight so that you know what not to do wrong. Don't do what that realtor did. Next question, what areas are you looking to purchase your home? Very basic and simple. They'll give you some cities here in Hampton Roads, Virginia. We have what's called the 7 cities, Hampton, Newport News, Suffolk. Some people say, I want to be in Suffolk, but I want to be in College Drive area, Suffolk. That's different than what I call Route 58 Suffolk, which is a little bit more rural, and you can actually drive far enough to be on the North Carolina line. So you want to ask them what areas, specific areas they want to be in. You also want to ask them, have you been pre-approved? When you ask the pre-approval question, asking somebody if they've been pre-approved really, for me, is a disrespectful question because we've just started a conversation. We've just started a relationship and I'm already asking you about money. So here's how I ask it so that it's not disrespectful because you have to find out. I'll say this. Are you planning on buying the home cash, or do you plan on getting a loan? 99% of the time, they're gonna say a loan. If they say cash, then let's get it, right? If they say loan, then you say, have you gotten pre-approved so that you know the range, the price range that you're working with? That's what I asked. I'm asking the pre-approval question based on your price range, because what I say to my buyers is, I would hate for us to go look for a $400,000 home and your pre-approval is $375,000. And before I even finish over these questions, I probably should have started with this. You need to do a buyer's meeting. Why do a buyer's meeting? First of all, set up the buyer's meeting at your brokerage. Your brokerage should have some offices that you can conduct a meeting with your clients, nice and professional. Some people do it at Starbucks or, places like that. That's cool, but I rather do it at the brokerage in a nice professional real estate space. I have TVs, I put the PowerPoint up. Additionally, you want to do a buyer's meeting because once I've spent a good 45 minutes with you, you're going to be hard pressed to go find another realtor to do that all over again. If you're just using me as a door opener, you can find a door opener elsewhere. But in a meeting where we're talking, I get to know your names, I get to know what you do. If you have kids, I get to crack some corny jokes. Now we're starting a relationship. And they're less likely to move on with that relationship than if you're just going opening doors and you never do a buyer's meeting. Another great question. Do you currently rent or own a home? If they rent, then you know that there's no hindrances when it comes to buying that home, meaning they can close and they can move. If they own a home, you might get a listing out of it as well. Or if they're using another realtor to sell their home, then you have a little work to talk about timetable and when is their home going to be sold, because most people need to sell their home before they purchase a home. All right, so you can have that conversation. If they say they own a home, ask them if it's on the market or when they hope to place it on the market. Again, that just gives you a timetable. If they're on a lease, ask them if they're on a month-to-month lease. Are they okay with breaking their lease? I remember I was working with a buyer. I said, so are you renting or do you own? She said, I rent. I said, when is your lease up? She said, next month. I said, so you hope to find a home and close within a month? What happens if you don't? She says, we have to renew for another year. And that's exactly what happened. In addition to all these questions, the one thing that Ramo asked is, what if you don't want to work with these buyers? Well, this is why a buyer's meeting is so important. If you're working with people that you enjoy working with and they enjoy working with you, you're going to get good reviews. You're going to have a more successful transaction and process. It's going to be less stressful because you like working together and you don't mind going over those bumps together. So you may want to ask additional questions such as, hey, how long have you guys lived here? What are your plans in 5 years? What grades are your kids in? I had a buyer and he was very concerned with having a backyard and living in a neighborhood because where they were coming from, his kids really couldn't go outside because the area wasn't the best. And so you want to kind of ask the why question. Why? Why are you even moving? Knowing how many bedrooms and bathrooms, all that type of stuff is great. All that stuff is necessary. But you want to ask the why. Why do you want to move? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you upgrading? Are you trying to move from a worse neighborhood to a better neighborhood? Why? Because once you find the why, you'll actually be able to serve your clients better because you can point them in the direction of a home that they may not be considering. See, this is where the skill as a real estate agent comes alive. Many times, and you'll find this when working with buyers, people don't know what they want. They have an idea what they want, but they can't verbalize what they want. So when you're asking the why questions, it should be painting a picture in your mind so that you may see a house and you may say, hey, look, I know you guys were looking for this. I know you guys wanted a big kitchen, but you said that your main concern was you wanted your kids riding bikes in the neighborhood and you wanted a backyard that your kid could kick the soccer ball around. I think I found a home where the kitchen is an okay size, but the yard and the neighborhood gives exactly what you want concerning your children. And most of the time, people will choose those whys over, I want a big kitchen just to have a sake of a big kitchen. So be sure to get the why. All right, motivators, that is it. Be sure to check out the video above These are the most common questions that buyers ask me. And also, did I miss any questions? What questions do you ask your buyers? Please put them in the comments below. Are there any other videos that you would like to see me do? Put it in the comments below and I got you. Again, big shouts out to Ramo. I'm actually here in Las Vegas at a conference for my brokerage. I was sitting watching Dr. Eric Thomas give a great motivational speech, and I saw this comment come across my YouTube, and I said, I gotta go back to the hotel. I don't have my lighting, I don't have all my equipment, but we gotta be consistent, we gotta be persistent, and I had to knock this question out for Ramo. So hopefully this helps. Please, if you have questions, ask them, and I will do a video on them. I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys. This is the House of Motivation, the place where inspiration lives.